70% of women say that they experience significant stress during pregnancy. And being pregnant in 2025 and 2026 doesn't make it any easier. Whether you struggled to get pregnant, you got pregnant a little bit earlier than you hoped for, experienced losses, have financial stressors, or had a traumatic birth before. Finding providers who align with your priorities, the making appointments, keeping appointments, or are just completely overwhelmed and scared of the unknown. Extreme stress during pregnancy is so valid. And a lot of times we can't just choose to escape stress. So, why are we even talking about it? I want to tell you about something called fetal programming and how we react to stress does shape our baby's development. But don't worry, there is hope too. We can't choose the stress, but we can learn how to adapt and regulate so that our bodies can process it a little bit easier and teach our baby's nervous system how to be resilient. So let's get into it. So let's talk about a mom named Catherine. Now, this was her fifth pregnancy, but only her second while under neurologically focused chiropractic care. Her previous pregnancies without care were filled with relenting heartburn, sciatica, crushing fatigue, brain fog, and overwhelming stress. This time, she got adjusted two, sometimes three times a week throughout her pregnancy. And even though this was the oldest that she had been during her pregnancy, she felt the best out of any of them. Her nervous system stayed regulated. Her symptoms were minimal, and she had the energy to keep up with all of the other kids. She slept great. Her heartburn was manageable. The neurological scans lined up exactly with what she was feeling. Her adjustments were totally tailored to what her body was showing. And just weeks away from baby number five, Catherine said that this was the most confident that she had ever felt heading into labor and delivery. She knew that her body was ready because she kept her nervous system regulated throughout the entire pregnancy. So, diving in, your nervous system is actually teaching your baby's nervous system. So, that umbilical cord that we talk so much about is more than just a nutrient delivery system. It's the electrical connection between your nervous system and your baby's nervous system. And when stress hormones like cortisol stay elevated in your body, they cross the placenta and flood your baby's developing brain. Your baby's nervous system is actually being programmed right now in utero. And if you're stuck in sympathetic dominance, that fight or flight survival mode, your baby's nervous system learns that this is their baseline normal. Think about it like this. The nervous system is our air traffic controller for every other system within the entire body. And if that air traffic controller is stuck in panic mode, everything else is going to malfunction. Now, there's significant research that's published in the development and psychopathology. They found that infants of mothers with the highest stress levels showed 22% higher stress reactivity. Now, these babies were more easily upset, harder to soothe, colicky even, and they showed poorer recovery from stress. Now, that pattern was established during pregnancy. So, fetal programming, it creates lifelong patterns. When we're talking about fetal programming, what we're talking about is permanent changes. Now, during pregnancy, your baby's amygdala, the fear and emotion and anxiety center, develops larger and is then more reactive when exposed to chronic stress. The HPA axis, your hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, is your baby's stress response system, and it gets programmed with a hair trigger baseline. Think about it like if we're building a house on a cracked foundation. You can't remodel a house on a cracked foundation and expect it to be stable. Your baby's nervous system foundation is being built right now in utero, and chronic stress creates cracks in that foundation before they're even born. Now, the vagus nerve, which is the main part or main nerve of our parasympathetic system, it develops its tone during pregnancy, especially in the third trimester. And poor vagal tone from prenatal stress can affect their digestion, their heart rate, their inflammation, their immune function, and their social engagement and emotional regulation for years. And kids whose mothers experience chronic stress during pregnancy have higher rates of ADHD, anxiety, sensory processing disorder, and even physical health issues like asthma and allergies. Now, it's not bad luck, and it's absolutely not genetics. It's the nervous system. And more specifically, it's the fetal programming of that nervous system. Now, if you've been a fan of our content, we talk about the perfect storm. And this right here is stage one of the perfect storm. So the perfect storm actually begins before pregnancy even starts with fertility struggles, multiple rounds of IVF, months or years of emotional weight, hormonal medications, financial strain, relationship stress. By the time pregnancy happens, the nervous system is already depleted. Then pregnancy adds its own stressors, the physical discomfort, fear about baby's health, anxiety about labor, financial pressure, work stress, relationship changes and challenges. Your baby's developing in this environment. But here's the truth, they don't grow out of it, they grow into it. Colic at 2 months becomes chronic constipation at 6 months. That constipation becomes sensory sensitivities and overload by 18 to 24 months. Those sensory issues then develop into signs of ADHD at age 5, and then becomes actual ADHD and anxiety by age 10. You see, the nervous system dysfunction that started during fetal programming, during utero, just manifests differently as the brain develops. The stress on the system remains. But the beautiful thing through it all is that you can help your nervous system regulate, even during pregnancy. Now, you can't eliminate every stressor. That's nearly impossible. But what you can do is help your nervous system shift from sympathetic dominance into parasympathetic function, creating a calm, regulated internal environment that supports healthy fetal programming. Now, neurologically focused chiropractic care works at that foundational level. There's gentle, specific adjustments that help to release the parking brake onto your nervous system, allowing it to shift out of survival mode and into regulation. Now, the insight scans, they provide objective data of your nervous system. Heart rate variability specifically measures the balance between our sympathetic fight or flight and the parasympathetic rest and digest. Surface electromyography, or SEMG, shows where your nervous system is holding tension, where we're expending too much energy, or where we may be exhausted. And the neurothermal scans, they detect areas of dysregulation. Now, scans track improvements within your nervous system as well. Not just a baseline measure and we never look at it again. So often, before you start to see symptom changes, we're seeing changes in neurological function on scans. And when you're regulated, your baby learns regulation. Now, this is the window of opportunity because pregnancy is when the foundation gets built. What you do now affects not just your pregnancy, but your child's lifelong health. Your baby's nervous system is being programmed in this moment. Your nervous system teaches your baby's nervous system. The intervention you pursue now, addressing nervous system dysregulation at the root cause level, affects your child's health trajectory for years. You have more control now than you think, not by eliminating stress, but by helping your body regulate despite it. And if you're ready to support your nervous system and give your baby the healthiest possible start, click the link within our bio. Send our office a DM or schedule with Haven Family Chiropractic right here in Katy. Let's help you create the calm and regulated foundation that your baby deserves.